In this, my second pearl of wisdom during our COVID-19 lockdown, I would like to reflect on two words: order and structure. Modern definitions indicate that order means the arrangement or disposition of people or things in relation to each other according to a particular sequence, pattern, or method. If we are programmed to operate with order, we will realize that if we obey laws, we will always be on the right side of them, and officers of the law will not have any cause to enforce the laws against us. One thing leads to another is something we all should have learnt in school. If we shop for groceries in order of priority, we would surely have what we need. That's another way to look at putting things in the right sequence. We need to clean our surroundings to prevent and avoid diseases, for if we don't, we stand the consequences. We need to eat the right foods to build our immune system in order to stave off diseases and other afflictions. One thing must come before the other in order for various causes in life to be fulfilled. We just have to find the right sequence, for fear that we place the wrong thing first and end up in a scramble in times of turbulence like obtains today. The other word we want to highlight here today is structure. And structure as a noun is defined as the arrangement of and relations between the parts or elements of something complex. As a verb, structure relating to that of constructing or arranging according to a plan. How are our various lives arranged to relate to what we want to get out of life itself? What plans do we have for our life with all its complexities? Should order and structure be allowed to play the important roles they ought to play in our various lives, we will never put the cart before the horse. I recall when I was a child, my mother telling each of her 5 children that the first bill they must pay, as she does, is for the rent for where we live. If God blesses you, as she said, to the point where you're able to purchase or build your own home, you must pay your mortgage first. When asked why, because we thought food should come first, her answer was, because if you do not have anywhere to live, you will be exposed to the elements and everybody will know your business. But if you have little or nothing to eat, you will have a private place to suffer a bit without it being everybody's business. To her, the order of things led her to prioritize a place to live with a roof over her head. Today we can see in our very society many people's priorities being emphasized by their gravitational pull towards the things which add no value to life but require a high price to be maintained, while the important areas are ignored or treated as afterthoughts. COVID-19 has come to teach us how to really live with order and structure, starting with our diets and a full night's rest. Continuing with, of course, doing things differently by prioritizing our monthly expenses with money for our shelter, our utilities, our food, and all the necessities to avoid us having to rush to line up forever to get gas for both cooking and our vehicles and for groceries. If it is one lesson we ought to have learned from this, is never to let this happen again. It should also have taught us to get our spiritual life in order. Please note, I did not say religious life. Spiritual life is where it is at. Spirituality speaks to being in touch with our inner higher consciousness while living a life that shows compassion for others. If our spiritual life were in order, we will not be scattered all over exhibiting panicked behaviors. We would be in prayerful supplication in order to feed our calm confidence in the biblical prose, "This too shall pass." We would be programmed to pray for a continuous flow in the now, rather than a contingent flow in the need, according to Barbara O. You see, folks, needs represent lack. It says we are in some way deprived, unable to provide for self. Need feels desperate, and often we get stuck in that desperation. We don't always realize that God provides for our needs without any effort on our part. We need food, clothing, and shelter, of which there is an abundance. The issue is, do we want what is available? Usually not. So we think we need more. We think we need a new coat, a new VCR, a new smartphone. We feel we need the ability to go to the all-inclusive fetes. We feel we need the late model car. We want these things, and that is fine. Want places us in the driver's seat. It says we are open, ready and willing to receive. Want says we have a dream, a goal, or an idea that we desire to manifest in our lives. Need makes us fearful. Want helps us to become creative and responsible. When we strive only to meet our needs, we are never satisfied. When we strive to satisfy our wants, we become alive, don't we? All that I need comes to me easily. I want the best. You know, the truth is, spiritual growth results from absorbing and digesting truth and putting it to practice in daily life. When there is trouble or trauma in our lives, as we have experienced here in the 70s, in the 80s, and of course in 2004 with Hurricane Ivan, and as we are experiencing now with COVID-19, we have a tendency to become real spiritual. We pray, we say we believe, and we usually collect the miracle we expect. Then we go back to being our normal human self when things settle down, doing the same human things that got us in trouble in the first place. What we don't understand is that our issues in life are determined by our consciousness about life. It is only in our moments of despair that we surrender our humanness. We go to that higher force, higher consciousness that is within us all the time. It is quite possible for us to live from that higher place all the time, you know. But we would save ourselves a great deal of grief if we lived from the truth that we, as humans, can't do it on our own. Yet through our higher consciousness, we are the conduit. The higher consciousness moves us through racism, sexism, disease, poverty, fear, lack, and even confusion. So why not make that a permanent residence? I live, move, and have by being in a higher authority. So the lot of us who are kneeling every day, praying, biting our nails, and just living worried, I'm urging you to surrender yourself to the inner higher consciousness and roll with the positive energies of the universe. I am sure if you do not ignore the lessons that this current experience is teaching all of us, you will appreciate life a lot more after COVID-19 subsides. Hereafter, you will surely put some order and structure in your life to get more out of the short time on earth while you contribute meaningfully to civilization. You see how much our current circumstance is calling on each and every one of us to change our attitude? Remember, folks, I share this with the hope that you will start experiencing your unlimited possibilities.